later. .32 gang. What's good, man? It's your boy. It's top of the morning, early morning, team, no sleep. For real, for real. We headed over to the 32 gang clubhouse. We got a lot going on today. I got another car coming, which y'all gonna see in the next video. This video, I'm gonna get all my Escalades out and I'm shipping the years down to PC. I got something super crazy going on with that. Not just the wide body, but all the way together, guys. We just gonna do something that nobody else would do, so we just gonna go crazy on that. So I got the guys here to pick that up, ship that down to PC, get that ready for I'm actually gonna take that to the Ross instead of, you know, none of my old schools gonna be finished, and I ain't rushing my old schools for no car show. The newer cars, you know, it's really, the year's already done, so it's staying the same color. So he just gotta hit up, he gonna re-hit up the car, re-clear the whole car, you know, do what he do with the mastering pieces, but we ain't changing the color. I gotta keep that color just so vibrant and bright, and it match my SVJ. I'm still 50-50 on Volta. Like, they still like 680, 700. I think I paid 780 for mine. So I'm just kind of like on the fence. I'm just watching the market to see what they do. So like before they really seriously tank, or if they just gonna stay at that price range. Because honestly, you can get them, but they still like hard to get. Like, you can't go to Lambo and place that order. You gonna get it in like 2 or 3 years. And then it's just kind of like, I had it, I've done it, I'm on to a new path. I still have 2 Lambos, 3 McLarens. So I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as that goes, but I'm gonna be focused and locked in on these old schools. And you're gonna see next video, like, this combination that I'm putting together gonna be so crazy, so sick. So I'm just on a rebuild, you know, trying to rebuild the channel. Well, the channel been doing good, so actually the channel been doing great. But since I started YouTube, I've never been 100K a video channel. It's never been that, guys. The most important thing with my channel, I always just been consistent. I always stayed above that. When I really start getting my views, it's always been between that 50 to 100, but consistently like 50, 60, 70s. But I never had 100K YouTube view channel. You know, we'll hit it with some videos, 100, 200, 500,000. I think I got like, shit, actually my short my short fishing is my highest view on my YouTube channel, 3 million. And then I think my next highest is with CJ So Cool, and then the other ones after that is like Bumblebee and stuff. But yeah, my highest view is a short fishing, and they got like 3-something million views. Oh man, here we go, guys. This ain't supposed to start till 3 o'clock. I was trying to avoid this rain, man, because I got to get these pictures taken. Derek here, so you know we start to give away. Y'all already know that's shop32gang.com, but I've been grinding because I got to grind super hard. I got to grind double, you know, so I can get down to Texas. But I'm up so many videos. Y'all catching the videos late. Like, you know, I just post an order. Right now I've been trying to just shoot like 2 videos a day and then go in the house. And it's been working out. Some days I get 1, but just gotta grind, man. Just gotta keep going. I got a lot of stuff going on, so it's not boring. It's actually fun. I'm actually excited. I'm up and I'm tired. I got this gum I bought off Amazon that give you energy, and I forgot to take one, because when I take one I be wired. I don't know what's in that gum, but they have you wired. It's called Nero something. They come in a blue package, guys. It's like some energy gum. You just take one little square and it gets you through the day, and then at the end of the day you don't have no crash outs, and I can just, you know, I don't work, so I'm tired, but it lasts through the day. But yeah, guys, we're finna head over to the clubhouse and empty it out. And shit, I think the guy that's bringing me another car, can't wait to show y'all that video. I got 2 more old schools coming, and then that's it. I'm chilling. Like, I bought all these cars to start getting them in order, and out of these three, I'm gonna see which one I'm gonna keep for me. So basically, we're gonna have 3 cutlasses in the 32 game fleet. And then the other ones I'm gonna add giveaways in like the middle. And I might buy me a Monty Hero Coupe, but right now I'm burnt out, guys. I bought the truck. I brought 2026 in super crazy right now, so I'm gonna just chill, you know, and just bust my ass right now so I can really like just focus and lock in and chill with the fam. I hit my son up. He wanted to vlog the old schools, but I don't know if he gonna get up and come. You know, we all got these weird hours where we up all night. Like I'm a night owl. Like I'll be up in the day and the night, so my sleeping schedule be all over the place. But anyway, guys, see y'all in a little bit. I ain't gonna even hold y'all, guys. I had to turn my camera back on. Now, what the f is really going on? None of this is supposed to. It's hailing. It's dropping motherfucking ice. Look, it's hail balls out there. I pulled up on my boys and I said, man, F y'all truck. I ain't paying y'all. I got my own tow truck. It looks just like theirs, but man, bro, this is out of control, bro. Wow. We getting hit with hail right now. Look at Danny ass. Wow. I don't know if y'all ever seen hail. And yes, it damaged cars, but not these size. But when you get them bigger sizes, yes, they knock out windows, they do everything. It's gonna be a crazy day today, so. Great, man. Doing great. I just got here. I don't know why all these people keep taking my cameras, keep coming to my door, dropping these papers and shit on me. Man, y'all better move around. Y'all know porch y'all stepping on. Damn, bro. This shit out of control. Denny, fired. Jessica, you ready to work? Man, bro. All right, guys, I gotta get to work, man. So these damn cars out. It's yours out. I got blessed by Jess here, helping out today, though. I was gonna say, what if I left this key box at home? Y'all know I always forget something. We gonna see what I forgot today. Shit, guys, I can't keep everything together. I be trying. Fired.
Didn't I tell you?
What happened?
Either the rain or you were gonna come first.
What happened? I came first, then the rain came. But listen.
What happened?
It's stopping. It said 3 o'clock.
Oh.
It did say 3 o'clock. Now look, it's only 11 o'clock. And we got hail. It's coming back. All right, we finna get to it though. It don't hurt. As long as it ain't knocking you out, I know it ain't doing no damage. All right, man, I don't got room for nothing. We gotta pull all these cars out so they can get that yours.
Okay.
Yeah, you see my new truck? I'm on their ass right here, taking over, the takeover. Look, they're laughing. Yeah, I'm on y'all ass. On their ass, man. And they got wheels. God dang. What up, what up? Yep, I know y'all ride was easy. I can smell it a mile away. What's up, bro? Shit. All right. Time to get to it. Workflow. Shop flow.
I washed 9 cars
Today?
I washed some after I'm done with
You bad. Wait, 9 cars?
9 cars within 3 hours.
But you only get paid by the hour, right?
Yeah.
Shit. With
I
me,
know, but I'm like, I had to do it because
they gotta get in
they
the...
need me. They have to, you know, they still gotta keep.
Yeah. I think you should get paid by the car, like a percentage by the car.
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about calling her, but I don't know.
Oh, yes. Jessica finna get fired again. Getting fired on your day off, sis. I don't know, man. Where the 32 gang chain snatcher at? He's supposed to be. you know we, yeah. The 32 gang chain snatcher's supposed to be here already. Where he at? You can just roll him over there for now. I'm gonna figure him out in a second. All right, guys, I gotta figure this. I gotta get it together. He is officially fired, guys. He fired, ain't he, Justin?
Yeah, he's fine.
Hey guys, I gotta show y'all the new revise on the CJ wheels too. I revised them. I'm gonna show y'all. Yes, sir. Gotta start this bad boy. So you can pine it? No. So you can pine it. Pawn shop Jerry. Y'all know I ain't letting up. I'll just go stop. Shit. It's a good day. Good joke, fun day. Pawn shop Jerry. That's a new day. Say Urus out. I gotta make some room in my shop though. I think I'm gonna put the Grand National where what you call it used to be. Put the Grand National where Lucky used to be. Then I'm gonna bring the Cutlass back and actually take Lucky and switch it out. Put Lucky in the other house. A little bit. Alright guys, so I got them on video. I'm still in their work. Look, yeah. So you just let it back. Okay. I see you. Yep. Yeah. I got it. See, it's that simple. Yeah, I'm on y'all ass, man. Now that thing right. This motherfucker ain't been outside in ages. Let me see that Lambo key. Gotta make sure I give them the right one. Yeah, then ain't to that yellow one. Let me see. Is it this one?
I think that one's the other one.
What's this say?
Orange. That's
Orange. Oh, nah. That motherfucker yellow. CJ on 32. This another one right here. Right here. What that one say?
Nothing. That one's that one.
This one?
Yep. That
All
one's
right.
that one, and then that one.
Look how bright orange that is. Y'all gotta be crazy. Y'all think I'm changing that. A lot of people don't go 26s on the Urus guys because of that. It don't rub, but you see how low it's sitting. It's not getting that. You're not getting that lift be acting crazy. You go 24s, it'll come back, but without 24s, nope. This one over here still, the lift still activated. So you good. Jerry, you taking notes?
Yeah.
I'm taking notes. Not. So he can find the tow truck? Look, He's still directed to the. He's still at it, bro. Be careful what you do today, Jess.
Right now, he was just telling me you gotta rinse it off real good, double rinse it before you wash it.
And look, nobody said nothing to him. Everything to me though. Yeah, Jerry over here being a boss. He being a bad bee. Look, he tried to tell them how to do their job. Listen. Look like you need some tire wheels. All right, Jess. Jerry, let him work, gang. Let him be, my boy.
I'm learning the business, man.
What business? Yeah, all right. That's my truck. Personal use only. Oh, yeah. Oh, if it ain't Deer, look who decided to come outside and play. The boss. See you in a minute. What's up?
What's up, man?
You just missed the hail balls falling. Lucky you. All right. All right, we got crazy renovations going on around here, right? Just damn, you know what? We're gonna have to, man, we're gonna have to unlock that Cadillac. Boy, this rain on and off, guys, on and off. Got my boy out here. Hey, man, which one you taking, man? If you had a choice, I just want to see opinions out of these two.
Yeah.
So which one is it? It ain't two, it's one. It ain't a two for one, it's a one for two.
This one right here.
Taking the white one?
Yeah.
So what you like about the white one over the other ones?
The way the wheels are done.
Okay. We got my boy Monty on 32s in the building. I see you, Monty.
I'm gonna pick up my truck.
Which one? A new truck? Yeah. Which one you taking? You know I gotta give it to the family.
But
That-
I got the blue.
That ain't black, that's blue, gang. Pull your bifocals out.
I'm gonna rock with this one.
You going blue?
Hard.
Alright.
Oh, but this one, nah. Nah, this one right here, guys. I ain't even gonna lie. And this go with the McLaren.
Yeah. So what you know what that mean? I need to go ahead and buy me a another 2025
This one. I think
2026
all that, I think
and match it with my
like
McLaren.
this California right here. Like if you had like this, the McLaren, and something else, a track house like this. That's just dope.
Alright, that's two for the white. I forgot my damn cameraman name. Hey Jerry. Oh, David. Nah, Deer. Which one you taking?
Do the white one.
Why you pick white?
White's clean. White's.
Oh, you racist. Okay. All right. No, this is like. Hey, Jerry. Hey, if you could pine one of these Escalades, which one you pine? That ain't how it go. Jerry, which one you pining, man? If you could pine just one, which one you pining? You pining the blue one? All right.
This one like it's black. I would say the white one because like
You got most of those 24s in stock still, right? In the brush.
I don't know. For me, it's a win-win. Take one on a Monday, one on a Tuesday, one on a Wednesday.
Let me see. I should have
I'm gonna get y'all some little footage messing around with this one. This gold really hit. What's up, my boy? Off-road again? What's
Should have
up?
with me. A wise man.
Oh, you had some big steaks, huh?
3 hours.
You the man. All right, Al.
3 hours.
I asked everybody, now I'm gonna ask you. You can take one. Which one you taking?
I just don't like the mileage on the white one, but I'll take the white one.
Take the white one. Take the white one, man.
Which one are you taking?
I don't know. Tough. I know. 3 white and 1 blue. Jerry.
3 white and 1 blue. Yeah, the white. Get y'all on. See y'all out there working. They Monday day off. Shit.
Which way y'all take it, guys? Everybody picked that white one, so we going for this one. Super low miles, low mileage. This one got the higher mileage, like I told y'all. This wasn't even supposed to be in the giveaway. Yep. But it's clean as a whistle. I've been driving it. I take it home.
Yeah, me, I'm like, 1, 2. That's his mom.
Yeah, I can't give my answer. I don't know. I like the white black, but then I like that brush on brush. But then I like the gold too, with that interior, that combo, because it looked black. So, but it's blue.
And then it's like if somebody gets this and they put the wheel lights behind it.
Put the lights on there. 2007.
The sensor light or anything can turn on there? I think it should be fine. You just drove it home yesterday, or?
Yeah, I drove it yesterday.
I think it should have.
The only thing is rubbing on that he said he got to cut is that is for some reason maybe that running board got to be in the wrong spot. It's not the same as these. It's just touching on that running board. Small spot. Fired. Got warm as hell. It was hailing, then it got warm. Hailing, raining, now it's warm. Take y'all through there. We got one more person late to the party, guys, but it's gonna be pulling up. We got one more late to the party. It's gonna be pulling up soon. 3 the hard way. And Jerry said he upon the blue one. Pawn Shop Jerry.
Yeah, more rent coming in about 2 o'clock.
What time is it now? Crazy, man.
You got hell that came down?
Yeah, I was right in the back of the shop.
Actually, it hit it hard.
I was hoping it didn't damage the car doing that.
Yeah. Coming down like golf balls.
Yeah, it ain't big enough. I had the BMW in the truck out during the bad hailstorm last week or the week before last, and them was big chunks coming down. But KKK got hit with baseball, golf ball sizes. Jerry, I gotta go tell Jessica something. Hold it down back here.
Yep, go ahead.
The key box in this white truck. Go back here to the back. So I'm thinking now, guys, I got one car coming. Now I'm gonna be paying even more to Miguel because now I gotta rent out 4 spots. So I'm gonna give them an extra $500 a month for 4 more
Why
spots.
don't you just get
I got
the
to.
damn
I don't have a choice
warehouse,
right now.
man.
But now I'm just done. I can't buy even with 3 cars leaving Saturday, I still can't buy so I don't know what to do.
Warehouse.
Unless if I can buy 1 more car, I can take one to my boy Off-Road Al, or I got a spot on back of my new tow truck right here. So I'm gonna put, cause I ain't starting on this yet. The Daytons, I'm like 100% sure that they going on here. Actually, this Regal I actually just really looked at it. And if you look at it, guys, this Grand National is actually a good looking car. I'ma still get it repainted black. I never really looked at this car. Got a light bulb piece there. Need a new light bulb. But it kind of like they kind of freshly painted it black. I see some cracks, so I'm sure this car had this car definitely has some Bondo work done to it. But it's pretty damn clean. This not on the right way. He said he just rushed and grabbed one, so I'm gonna find the original one of that grill. And then I gotta get them bottom pieces. I think Be Coolin sent me where to get them bottom pieces from, and Maniac did. But look, the wheels, everything is actually pretty clean. It's not gonna be a frame off, but I definitely gotta clean the bottom up, because that's where shit gonna need a little bit of work. When it go to Sammy's, I ain't gonna just put the wheels on. I gotta have my shit A1, especially if it's staying in the fleet. I'm about ready to stop looking. Well, the guy who bringing me the other car, he got one, but man, I don't really feel like spending no more money on another car. I ain't gonna lie. Let's see. It's not bad though. It's like a good ass start. It's pretty clean. I done seen a lot of bullshit on the market too. They asking an arm and a leg, bro. But yeah, it's not bad. Like, I got the interior guy gonna redo all this. The seats ain't even bad. Get all this redone. I'm gonna get it just redone OG, and then I'll go from there if I want to like add some acrylics or anything. But for the most part, I want an OG with my Daytons on there. But I just want to clean, like a real clean old school, guys. So even if I do the frame off with this one, and I let Sammy's do it, I'm just going black everything, and whatever that I can buy, I'm gonna get red. Like nothing fancy. I don't want nothing fancy with this car. So we're gonna keep the original motor, and I know people who work on these upgrade these. Stunner sent me some stuff, but it don't look too bad under here. I'm sure it's leaking oil or something though. Like you got one clean head over here and then the other one dirty. But it ain't bad, man. It's a pretty good car. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's just gonna need some welding and shit to the underneath it. Got a little rust. Not a lot though, just a little bit. It's something I seen on there that's definitely gotta get touched. Or it's gonna get touched anyways, because they gotta I think they gotta shorten the rear end to fit them Daytons on here. So it ain't just like no 1-2. Three slap on, but it's pretty clean. Pretty sure this is supposed to sit in there better. Like they added some different T-top weather strips. Not a bad car. So I'll probably just keep it, man. It's already the year. And I mean, shit, cars like this, I mean, you got to put a little bit of money into them. You buy them. So I don't got no problem with that. It's T-top, it's ready, and I ain't got to look no more. I can get a nice exhaust put on here. I ain't got my keys. I can check the trunk. I forgot how the trunk look on here. But it ain't bad, so I might start ordering pieces for this one soon. But that bottom piece definitely got to go. I got to get the original. I hate that gap. That gap ugly. Pretty sure Turbo Joe probably got something too. Got Hurst over there. Got Blessed by Jess over here on that black thing, on the Black Knight. It don't gotta be perfect because it's wet outside. Just bring it over to Al's. Where? He gonna take pictures of the inside, but like, it's not even dirty in there. Yeah, yeah. It didn't shut off on you because of the timer? The car shut off on you or no?
Yeah, it did. I had to turn it back on.
You needed to jump it or it started
Yeah,
like
I had
that?
to jump it.
Yeah, we got to get driven. So when you pull it out, it's going to shut off every 15 minutes. All right, bring it over to the back of Al. That boy is wet. All right, guys, we're going to head back over here to Al's. And it's slippery as heck in here. We just gonna duck this off in the corner. I'm gonna get to this when I get back, man. I got too much to do. See, look, see it's cracked right here. So it kind of makes me feel like, I don't know, might be some Bondo right there. It's cracked in another spot, but it ain't no bubbling. The doors, shit, pretty solid. Right here too. Check out the doors. Pretty damn solid. Y'all know these G bodies always rust down there in the rear. Bro, them said they'd come teach me too with the truck, and they said I won't have a problem at the DMV because it's like personal use. So I'm gonna take care of that next week. I'm just trying to take care of everything I need to take care of, guys, so everything's just lined up for when I leave and when I come back. Derek over here lining these trucks up. That boy cold with it. Got Will flying out tomorrow. Get my driving promotion and get my winter videos. Working. What y'all talking about, Willis?
The storm we had like,
Yeah, like a week and a half. Yeah, crazy.
that shit was scary as
You get a small one lay down behind it too much.
First, nah, it was raining hard, and then it started snowing.
Yeah, the engine don't stop.
And I'm on the back roads, the whole expressway closed down. You couldn't see no lines on this shit.
Crazy.
I got 80,000, I got 80K pulling this shit. Like, anything and put all this over with.
Now they got my info, guys. Y'all know this wig wasn't like this. Is it crazy or not, Jess?
Yeah, it is.
All right, man. Let me see what Blessed by Jess got us. How she got us right now. You know what's crazy? This car is nice as hell, and I just never drove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I took it home one time. I know. I might drive this home today and leave a big Escalade in the shop.
You should.
Right? Look good, don't it? All smoked out black.
And it still smells brand new.
It smells brand new. Or it is brand
It is brand new and it smells brand new.
new. That new money. That Jessica money right here, guys. That car wash money. Oh, yep. See, my sticker expired in February, though. $72 miles, guys. 72 miles. Jessica, no, you didn't. Like,
Sorry.
in my Mojo Brooks voice, I know you fucking lying. She'd have stopped.
Get my energy.
Should have stopped at 7 Brews in the caddy. Brand new. Brand new. I don't even think you can get these. These things still hard to get. These hard to get, guys. You can get the older ones, but the new ones, they still hard to get. I gotta look online and see if they got another one out there. Cadillac snap with these boys. The Rapid Blue, I know. It's just hard to get them. I don't know, man. Him fired though. I'm gonna drive this today. I'm gonna drive it anyways. Like it needs some cycle and some life cycle, you know? Because when I drove it, it started right up. Huh? You a pie in this one too? You wouldn't find it?
I got on specifications.
Yeah, alright.
Because when you gave me your car the first time you bought one, you let me have it for a while. That was a good thing. I didn't want to get out the car.
Alright, Pine
But
Shop
I love
Jerry.
that car though, man. Shit, I love that car. I love this one more than all of this. This is like 8 years.
This is a bad boy. Hey, I'm finna make it hard for y'all. Cause hey, look.
Man, I take that car before I take any one of those. Because you got to spend an arm and a leg for gas.
You gotta spend an arm and a leg for gas for this. This is a V.
See?
See that? You see that? You gotta spend that money on this one. That big boy right there. Yeah, brand new. Ain't even broke in yet. I got you.
I got it.
I got you.
I got paid.
Calm down. I ain't Jerry over there telling you what to do. Hey, she got paid to wash the car to bring it back out in the rain dirty. Yep. 123 what? Yep. Got that big screen in this one, guys. Just gotta drive it a little bit. You feel me? Got the 2-stage big roof too, but y'all know that second one don't go back. Who said they broke? You ain't broke. Jessica got that money.
Only got 8. No, not even 8. It's like
Jerry got that money. Jerry, what you got in them jeans, man? How much you got?
Car note money.
How much that car note?
230.
230. Monthly or weekly? Or every 2 weeks? Sheesh, so you paying 460. Damn. Jerry got that money, 460. Lord, only 11,000. Shit.
Getting him good.
Only. They must have gave you a high. Oh, okay. So you talking, huh? Let me see. That's what you got left from that change. That's what you got left from your change.
No.
Yeah, where your chain at? Hold on, okay. Jerry, you want to tell her? Hey, you want to tell her what you did with your chain, Jerry? The 32 gangs want to know. He pawned it, bro. Yes, 2,000. It's over with.
Yeah, now get back.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you got that. Hey, matter of fact, guys, you know what? I'm glad Monty got his chain on. I got to do something real quick. Y'all know.
What up?
Hey, little head, man, you on the road, you a big boot. Y'all last fired, man.
New York, goddamn.
I'm gonna link up with Big Boot so he can teach me how to drive this truck. This tow truck. Hey, anyway, guys. Jessica, you gotta go?
No.
Oh, all right.
I'm already done.
Okay. All right, yeah, guys. Hey, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video, man. I'm waiting on my car to be delivered, and I'm waiting.
I need to move on real quick.
It was a great effort for the whole country. Everybody was.
You are
behind
so
that.
triggered with Hollywood. Let's move on. I want to move on away from Hollywood right now.
I'm getting away from Hollywood.
Later in the
I'm talking
show,
about
we're going to go back and revisit Hollywood with some stuff.
No, I'm not talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about, just briefly, America was a different kind of place. The Vietnam War was ill-prepared. It was cruddy the way they tried to run it. It was crapped out, ignorant. It went against all of the rules of warfare in terms of how to win something. And it was a crazy mess, on top of Nixon, on top of this thing where it was being predicated on anti-masculinity. And what the country did to itself, it hasn't recovered from for the last half century. So I'm glad that right now you've got some heroic people that volunteered to go at least fly around the damn thing. Okay. And remember, that's not that safe either. The Apollo 13 mission almost ended in disaster. Just flying out there, it didn't land either.
All right, so I want to go to what was going on this weekend before we get into the Strait of Trump. And this is part of it. It leads into it. So over the weekend, they had their annual No Kings protest rallies across the nation because, this started last year and this is the second year because, of course, they are calling Trump a dictator and what's going on with U.S. and Iran. So I just want to play this quick clip.
Strength and your commitment told us that this is still America.
This is Bruce Springsteen, a wealthy multimillionaire.
And this reactionary nightmare and these invasions of American cities will not stand.
I'm here because I'm worried about my children and my grandchildren. I'm tired. We're exhausted. This brings me hope. I have so much hope here. And we can change this. Our government is not going to do it. It has to be we the people.
What we provide is mockery to the king. And we call this part of the Mock and Awe tour. And that's really about just taking authoritarianism and making fun of it, which they hate. And that's what we're doing.
And no one, not the bully in chief, not the racist in chief, not the wannabe king, no one is above the law. They want us to be afraid that there's nothing we can do to stop them. But you know what? They are wrong, dead wrong, because we know better. Millions of us are not afraid to know our rights and exercise them, to stand up for each other and our hard-fought freedoms.
You know what I have to say about that? I got knocked off of X by the residual effects and the bureaucracy of the far left. I didn't get knocked off by conservatives. We have problems all the time, not from conservatives, it's from the far left. They want to restrict free speech. That's First Amendment. They want to wipe out the Second Amendment, the right to protect yourself and be armed and offset the government. Third Amendment, there's never been a case in law in the history of the United States on that one. It's just got to do with quartering troops. Never has happened. Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. The far left is the one that wants to diminish that. If you listen to that clown Kamala Harris talking about it, and the Fifth Amendment, they want to emasculate that. You can see what they did with Bill Cosby on that one and what they try to stomp on with that Sixth Amendment. They don't give a damn about that. They're the ones that are the totalitarian freaks here, the Nazis. The National Socialist Workers' Party is what Nazi stands for. So who is the Socialist Party that's national around here? The line leads right back. To show you the absurdity of this No Kings bid, they had a huge rally in England. Well, for goodness sakes, don't they have a king right now for real? So what the devil are they talking about? They're not even citizens of their own damn country. They're subjects of their damn king. So they had a No Kings rally. This is just stupid hypocrisy by some ignoramuses who haven't a clue as to what they're doing. And by the way, if you go back and you have a smattering of German and you listen to what was happening in Deutschland in 1933 and 34 and 35, you hear the exact same thing with almost the exact same words, if you translate them, being said by the exact same type who going around trying to slit their own throats by supporting a fascist regime that they thought was going to bring them freedom and liberty. So it's absolute absurdity.
Well, this is Trump, and he's giving a speech. I forgot where was he at with this, but of course, everywhere he goes now, he has to discuss Iran, and he joked about renaming the Strait of Hormuz the Strait of
Trump. Yeah.
They just play this here. It's about 3 minutes.
They are negotiating. They're begging to make a deal. They're begging to make a deal. Turned out I was right. They were negotiating, which they admitted 2 days later. And in order to make up for their misstatement, they said, we're going to send you 8 ships of oil. And the following day I saw, this is 2 days ago, I saw on one of the networks, very strange, there were 8 ships of oil coming out of Iran. And then they actually said, we're going to add an extra 2. And they added an extra 2, so we had 10 ships. And then people realized we were actually negotiating. And we're negotiating now, and it'd be great if we could do something, but they have to open it up. They have to open up the Strait of Hormuz. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Such a terrible mistake. The fake news will say, he accidentally said, no. There's no accidents with me, not too many. If there were, we'd have a major story. No, well, we had that with the Gulf of Mexico. Remember the Gulf of Mexico? And one day I said, why is it the Gulf of Mexico? We have 92% of the area around it. They have 8%, really less than 8%. But for 350 years, it was good. You know, they were there 100 years longer than us, Mexico. They're at 350, we're at 250. And I said, I've often asked myself, why do we call it the Gulf of Mexico? It seems like we dominate. Well, when I checked, it was more than 92%. So I announced, I wouldn't say Mexico was thrilled, but I announced that from now on, the Gulf of Mexico is going to be called the Gulf of America. And it took about 1 hour, and it was done. Everybody, I mean, the president called me. She's really a nice person, too. I like her a lot. She called up. She had the most beautiful voice. She's a very elegant woman, has a beautiful, beautiful voice. She goes, President, tell me, this is not so. No, it's so. Oh, it's so. And then Google Maps changed it. We won the court case in about 1 hour, and Google Maps changed the name. And it's now the Gulf of America, which it should be, in all fairness. We're crushing Iran's weapons stockpiles, destroying their missiles and drone factories at levels nobody ever thought was possible, and turning their defense industrial base into nothing. Iran's navy is gone. It's all sunk at the bottom of the Gulf and elsewhere. Did you see the attack submarine that we have one after one of their boats? It was called the Soleimani. It was the pride of their fleet. But this attack submarine goes like 60 miles an hour. I never saw anything. And it caught them in about 2 minutes. And that was the end of the Soleimani. Now, they're 100% dead. They have 22 mine droppers. They go on mine droppers. And the mine droppers, 22, all 22 are gone. So I guess they can drop mines, but they're going to have to take them out by a rowboat because they don't have any boats. Their Air Force is dead, totally, completely dead. It's out of business. No planes left at all. Their anti-aircraft and communications capabilities are totally dismantled and dead. And their leaders are all dead. Other than that, I think they're doing quite well.
By the way, he said something that has been of great interest to intelligence communities all over the world. Did you see what he said? The sub was going 60 miles an hour. There is in miles an hour, not knots per hour. That would translate out at a bit over 50 knots submerged. And people have been speculating just how fast are American attack submarines. The Pentagon, for the last 60 years, 70 years, has been playing down their underwater speeds. And like the official publications say for the Virginia class and the super subs that they only made 3 of, the Nautilus, not the Nautilus class, the Seawolf class. They've been speculating somewhere at 30 knots perhaps. So see, if you can track down something at 60 miles an hour, he dropped that to freak the Russians and the Chinese out, because the Russians had a titanium hull thing called the Alpha class that freaked the Navy out long time ago, because they clocked the thing going under our task forces at literally 50 plus miles an hour. And that is a hell of a something to be down 800 feet going 50 miles an hour. And that wasn't exactly flat out. So that was really...
Why I don't care about that?
But you need to... It's subtle. What that did is somebody running someone's Navy, from Great Britain to France to Russia to the Chinese, is now freaked out, and that's what they're going to focus on. My God, he said they can run 60 miles an hour. See, that was subtle. You want to get past it, and that was the most important thing he dropped in the whole speech. It was a direct threat with, you never knew, now you got it. You ain't got shit out there that can handle this, so get out the way.
Well, why is he sending over 10,000 soldiers over there if we're winning, if we're decimating their military? Why are we sending these?
Well,
it's more than 10,000. I'm just saying a minimum.
Okay. But 10,000, 20,000, 10,000 is what they sent. 14,000 is what they sent to Los Angeles in 1965 in August to restore order. 16,000 is what Eisenhower sent down to Little Rock in 1956 to restore order. So it's all relative. In other words, this is just the primary unit for the American military. It's a division. In other words, they sent one division down. For context, between 1919 and 1923, the United States sent 6 full divisions of Marines and Army into Russia. They were on mainland Russia to support the white Russians against the red Russians, who represented communist factions. So, this is Harlem Hellfighters. Harlem Hellfighters were the biggest division in World War I in the U.S. Army. It's Puerto Rican and black, and what happens is they had 16,000 men in the Harlem Hellfighters division. So it ain't big. They have maneuvers this big.
Well, I wanted to bringing gas and oil, right? Because in the beginning of the show, I was, telling people what I was doing, why I didn't have any Wi-Fi or internet. And one of the things I did today, I'm a Costco's member, so I get my gas from Costco's because it is less than other gas stations, right? Because you get a deal. Honey, $3.49 a gallon. Let me tell you something.
What?
If the price, and prices go up in the summertime, but we already paying summer prices right now in March. So that means prices are going to continue to rise. If gas continue to rise from over $3.50 regular throughout this summer, best believe the Republicans are not going to be winning the midterms.
It's not the Republicans.
I spent $30 for half a tank. That means to fill up my tank would be $60. A month ago, I was filling up my tank a total of $40. So I'm paying an extra $20 because you want the Strait of Hormuz, so you can rename it the Strait of Trump.
Yep.
No, that's not what.
I know it's not that. It's about oil. It's about
that isn't even what.
It's about the American dollar being strong. It's about oil.
That isn't even what it's about. The United States oil reserves are so huge that if they just limited it to the oil reserves on Oahu, which is where Pearl Harbor and Honolulu is located, and those reserves were complete and haven't had anything added to them since 1941, and the Japanese made a huge strategic error by not attacking the oil fields and the storage facilities. If we just limited ourselves to what's already there on Oahu, we have enough oil to run the United States economy at 150% of its current level of use for the next century.
So now, then why are they?
It's a ripoff.
Gas prices. Yeah, it's a ripoff.
My friend, whose name was Vasa, roommate at UCLA, who wound up being one of the top directors.
Carly. That's right. DHS says most TSA employees received back pay that covered 2 full paychecks. The department is still processing payments for another pay period, so many agents say they're only seeing part of what they're owed. This will, of course, help relieve some of the financial burden workers are facing, but they are still frustrated, and they're worried about the status of future paychecks. They see the president's executive order as a temporary solution. There are also other agency workers and FEMA and the Coast Guard, for instance, who are not covered by that EO and therefore are not getting paid. Here's White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt addressing that issue.
The president will always look into ways that we can make sure that the American people are being taken care of and doing what's right by the American people. But again, it's ridiculous that the president even has to go to the length of working with the legal team and the Office of Management and Budget to identify these funds. It is the job of Congress to fund these agencies. And Democrats in Congress have voted 7 times against funding the Department of Homeland Security. Congress should come back and they should get it done.
The head of Delta Airlines is slamming Congress for failing to find a deal on DHS funding, and he is now suspending specialty services for lawmakers.
Well, given the lack of leadership that we've seen coming from our elected officials, the fact that we would continue to extend courtesy opportunities for them to bypass the mess that they've created, we want to make sure they understand what they're and stand in line just like everybody else.
How long will the pause continue for those perks?
At a minimum, until everything is back and running normally, the workers are paid, and at that point we'll decide whether we continue it.
Kasha Patul is coming for us. You must have 305.
I can't, it's too risky.
We don't have any time. Remember your training.
We did it, Aaron! We did it! Sure. This is incredible!
Right now, at this very moment, there is one man who decides what you hear on the radio. One man whose company controls what goes viral on Spotify. One man who has the power to make an artist the biggest name on the planet or erase them like they never existed if they go against his agenda. And you probably have no idea who he is. This very man is what some people blame for the violence in the black community and what goes in drill hip hop today. Meet the Jewish man, Sir Lucian Grange. And the family dynasty he's building quietly controls more of the music industry than any single entity in the history of recorded sound. Think about every artist you've been listening to this week. Drake, Kendrick Lamar, The Eminem, Post Malone, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, Morgan Wallen. Every single one of them, every song, every album, every stream is making this one man and his family richer. Universal Music Group controls roughly 40% of all recorded music on Earth. That's not a label. That's not a company. That's a monopoly with a playlist. And here's where it gets really interesting. When Drake, one of the highest paid artists alive, a man with a reported $400 million deal with Universal, started having problems with them, what happened? His career cratered. Kanye West called Lucian Grange Drake's rich baby daddy and said Drake's music had become so commodified and controlled that it doesn't even connect with people anymore. Then Drake turned around and filed a legal petition accusing Universal of manipulating streams, using bots, and running a payola scheme to boost Kendrick Lamar's diss track against him. And Lucian Grange, he barely flinched because when you own the game, you don't have to worry about the players. Stay with me through this whole video, because by the end, you're going to understand how one Jewish family from North London turned the entire global music industry into their personal empire, and why speaking against them might be the most dangerous thing an artist can do. Before we talk about Lucian Grange specifically, you need to understand the architecture of the machine he runs. Universal Music Group, UMG, is not just a record label. It is a collection of empires stacked inside of empires. When Grange restructured the company in 2024, he organized it around two massive hubs. On the East Coast, you've got Republic Corps, which controls Republic Records, Def Jam, Island Records, and Mercury Records. On the West Coast, you've got Interscope Capitol Labels Group, which controls Interscope, Geffen, Capitol Records, Motown, Priority Records, Blue Note, and Verve. Let that sink in for a second. Def Jam Records, the home of Jay-Z, Kanye West, Rihanna, DMX, Nas, Rick Ross, Pusha T, and nearly every major hip-hop artist of the last 4 decades, is owned by Universal. Republic Records, home of Taylor Swift, Drake, The Weeknd, Post Malone, Ariana Grande, Lil Wayne, and Nicki Minaj, is owned by Universal. Interscope Records, where Eminem, Dr. Dre, Lady Gaga, Kendrick Lamar, and 50 Cent all got their biggest platforms, is owned by Universal. Capitol Records, Motown, Geffen, Island, Mercury, EMI, all Universal. Every one of those labels that you grew up thinking was its own independent institution, all underneath the same roof, all answering to the same boardroom. And at the top of that boardroom sits Sir Lucian Grange, a 65-year-old Jewish man from North London who left school at 18 with no degree and no industry connections, and somehow built the most powerful media company in the history of music. Now, here's the thing about power at that level. It's invisible. The people who truly run the world don't need to be famous. They don't need a Wikipedia page with millions of hits. They don't need to be on the cover of Rolling Stone. Lucian Grange rarely grants interviews. He moves in the shadows of awards ceremonies and year-end memos to staff. But make no mistake, when he speaks, the entire music industry listens. Billboard magazine named him the most powerful person in the music business not once, not twice, but 6 times. He's the only person in the history of their Power 100 list to hold the top spot that many times. In 2020, they invented a new category just for him, Executive of the Decade. And in 2025, Variety ranked him among the top 10 most powerful executives in all of entertainment. You know what's wild? Even the rappers know who he is. Drake name-dropped him in a Migos collaboration back in 2021. Shut Done Changed, billionaires talk to me different when they see my pay stub from Lucian Grange. Travis Scott gave him his flowers on a Drake and 21 Savage track. Only signing the gang, we, the new Lucian Grange. These are some of the biggest artists alive acknowledging that this man's signature on their check means everything. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. To understand how Lucian Grange got here, we need to go back to where this all started. Not with him, but with the generation before him. Because this story, like all the best ones, starts in the streets. Here's a fact that most people in hip-hop don't talk about, but the ones who've been paying attention have known for decades. Jewish entrepreneurs didn't just participate in the music industry, they built it. Go back to the 1940s. The major labels at the time, Columbia, RCA, Decca, had all but abandoned what they called race music, black artists making black music for black audiences. There was no money in it as far as the establishment was concerned. The industry gatekeepers in those years were almost entirely white, Anglo-Saxon Protestants who ran music the way they ran everything else in America, as a closed system that kept certain kinds of people out and certain kinds of sound invisible. So, who stepped into that void? Jewish small businessmen. Men who understood what it felt like to be excluded by the mainstream. Men who had immigrant parents or grandparents who built something from nothing in a country that didn't always want them there. Men who recognized talent and potential that the establishment couldn't or wouldn't see. Leonard Chess and his brother Phil Chess, 2 Polish Jewish immigrants who'd come to Chicago, founded Chess Records in 1950. Their roster reads like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was designed around it. Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry, Bo Diddley, Etta James, Howlin' Wolf, Little Walter, Sonny Boy Williamson. These are the artists who invented rock and roll, the artists that the Rolling Stones and Led Zeppelin later admitted to studying obsessively and drawing from. The artists whose innovations were so fundamental to the entire trajectory of Western popular music that you can trace almost every genre that followed back to the work recorded at Chess Records in Chicago, and it was 2 Jewish brothers from Poland who gave them their platform. In New York, Alfred Lion co-owned Blue Note Records, the jazz label that defined cool for an entire generation. Mo Ash built Folkways Records, which preserved more American musical traditions than any archive in history. Milt Gabler founded Commodore Records and was later credited with being one of the most fair-dealing executives in the industry at a time when exploitation of black artists was near universal. Jerry Wexler, a Jewish music executive who later coined the term rhythm and blues to replace the industry's dehumanizing race music classification, ran Atlantic Records alongside Ahmet Ertegun and helped launch the careers of Ray Charles, Aretha Franklin, Led Zeppelin, and Wilson Pickett. Art Rupe, another Jewish executive, ran Specialty Records and signed Little Richard, Sam Cooke, and Fats Domino, three of the foundational figures in the transition from gospel and R&B to rock and roll. Herman Lubinsky built Savoy Records in Newark. Sid Nathan ran King Records in Cincinnati and signed James Brown, whose first hit, Please, 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 in 1956, began one of the most transformative careers in American music history. Now, it's worth noting that this history is complicated. Not all of these executives were saints. Some of them exploited the artists they signed, underpaid them, took publishing rights they had no business taking. The same web of creative cross-pollination that made this era so extraordinary was also full of financial exploitation that left many black artists with nothing while white executives got rich. The Chess brothers themselves were accused of shady accounting practices. Herman Lubinsky had a reputation in the industry for being ruthless with money. This was an era when few artists, regardless of race, owned their masters, and the executives who did often got rich at the artist's expense. But the cultural contribution is undeniable. Without these labels, without these Jewish entrepreneurs who saw something in black music when the mainstream wouldn't touch it, the entire trajectory of American popular music would be different. Hip-hop might not exist. Rock and roll might have stayed a regional phenomenon. Soul and R&B might have remained invisible to mainstream America for decades longer. The pattern repeated itself when hip-hop arrived. When rap music was still being called a fad, when radio wouldn't touch it, when major labels thought it was going nowhere and dismissed it as noise made by kids who would move on to something else in a year, it was again Jewish entrepreneurs who moved first. Rick Rubin, born Richard Rubin, Jewish kid from Long Island whose parents wanted him to be a lawyer, founded Def Jam Records out of his NYU dorm room in 1983 with $5,000 borrowed from his parents. His first signing was a rapper named Tila Rock. He recruited Russell Simmons as a partner, and together they turned Def Jam into the most important hip-hop label ever created. LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, Public Enemy, Run DMC, DMX, Jay-Z, Kanye West, all came through that label, all came through a vision that started in a dorm room funded by a Jewish kid who believed in the music when nobody else would. Tom Silverman, another Jewish executive, founded Tommy Boy Records and signed Queen Latifah, Coolio, De La Soul, and Naughty by Nature. Aaron Fuchs founded Tough City Records, the first rap label to secure a major label distribution deal, and worked with Cold Crush Brothers and other pioneering acts before Def Jam even existed as a public brand. Jerry Heller, Jewish, co-founded Ruthless Records with Eazy-E and helped introduce NWA to the world, the group that gave us Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, and the template for West Coast gangsta rap. Paul Rosenberg, also Jewish, became Eminem's manager and one of the most powerful figures in hip-hop business, later serving as CEO of Def Jam itself. Clive Davis, Jewish, from Brooklyn, a lawyer by training who stumbled into music and never looked back, founded Arista Records, signed Whitney Houston, and discovered her potential when everyone else saw a backup singer, launched Barry Manilow, developed Patti Smith, signed the Grateful Dead, relaunched Aretha Franklin's commercial career, and later founded J Records, where he launched Alicia Keys with Songs in a Minor, which sold 10 million copies and swept the Grammys. He became Chief Creative Officer of Sony Music. He is widely considered the most artistically influential record executive in the history of American music. So by the time we get to Lucian Grange, there is already a deep, complicated, powerful history of Jewish music executives shaping what the world hears. From blues to jazz to rock and roll to soul to hip-hop, Grange didn't appear out of nowhere. He is the culmination of an entire tradition that stretches back 80 years, a tradition built on a particular combination of cultural outsider status, business acumen, and a genuine appreciation for music that the mainstream had written off. But what he built is in a completely different stratosphere from anything that came before. February 29, 1960, Leap Year Day. Lucian Charles Grange is born in North London into a Jewish household. His father, Cecil, and mother, Marion, raise him in what he later describes as a music-loving home. His older brother, Nigel, will later go on to found Ensign Records. So there's music in the family DNA, but nobody in the house is rich. Nobody is connected to the industry in any significant way. Lucian attends Queen Elizabeth's Grammar School for Boys. He's a decent student, but at 18 years old, when most of his classmates are preparing to go to university, he makes a decision that will change the course of music history. He drops out. He doesn't take his exams. He walks out of school because he knows with absolute certainty what he wants to do. He starts at the absolute bottom. In 1978, Lucian Grange becomes a runner at MPC, a talent scout company. A runner, that's the industry term for the person who does every job nobody else wants to do. You pick up dry cleaning, you make coffee, but the instinct to see potential where others don't, that's already there. By 1982, he's the director of RCA Music Publishing. He's not yet in his mid-20s, and he's already directing. By 1984, he's an A&R director at MCA Records. In 1986, he establishes Polygram Music Publishing. In his 30s, he becomes the managing director of Polydor UK, one of the most storied record labels in British history, home of the Rolling Stones, Elton John, and the Bee Gees. Every move is a step upward. Every room he enters, he finds a way to become indispensable. Throughout the 1990s, while hip-hop is exploding across the Atlantic in America, Grange is building his reputation in the UK as the man who can spot a star before they know they're one. He signs Amy Winehouse. He signs and develops artists that his peers overlook. He becomes known as someone who doesn't follow trends, he shapes them. In the early 2000s, he becomes chairman of Universal Music Group's UK division, then chairman of UMG's international operations. And then, in 2010, comes the call that changes everything. Universal Music Group, the largest music company in the world, needs a new chairman and CEO. The man who holds that title is Doug Morris, a legendary figure in his own right, the architect of some of UMG's biggest deals. And Doug Morris looks across the landscape of candidates and sees one person: Lucian Grange. On January 1st, 2011, Lucian Grange becomes chairman and CEO of Universal Music Group. He's 50 years old. He started as a runner with nothing, and now he sits at the top of the most powerful music company on earth. But he doesn't stop there. Most people, when they get the biggest job in their industry, spend their first year learning the lay of the land, settling in, being careful. Lucian Grange spent his first year buying EMI Records, the label that gave the world the Beatles, Katy Perry, Queen, the Beach Boys, Pink Floyd, Lady Antebellum, one of the most iconic music companies ever created. In September 2012, Grange completed the acquisition of EMI's recorded music operations for $1.9 billion. In one stroke, he folded Capitol Records, Blue Note Records, Virgin Records, and EMI's entire catalog into Universal Music Group. The empire doubled overnight. Critics screamed. Regulators in Europe raised hell. The European Commission looked at this deal and said this is too much power for one company. They forced UMG to sell off some assets. Parlophone went to Warner Music Group for nearly $500 million. But even after the forced divestiture, Grange had pulled off what one industry publication called likely the last big deal in the music business. He had restructured the entire global music landscape to center around Universal. And then he kept going. 2013. Grange is named the most powerful person in the music business by Billboard for the first time. 2014, he takes UMG into film and television through the acquisition of Eagle Rock Entertainment, the company's first major documentary, Amy, The Weeknd, Drake, Feed, Karol G, and Lana Del Rey. In the United States, Universal's market share of recorded music eclipsed every competitor. Republic Records alone held 13.47% of the entire U.S. market. Interscope added another 8.80%. Combined, UMG's labels were responsible for nearly a quarter of every song consumed in America. Think about what that means in practical terms. 1 out of every 4 songs you heard last year. 1 out of every 4 streams. 1 out of every 4 albums that appeared on a chart somewhere. All of it flowing through the machine that Lucian Grange built. All of it generating revenue that flows back to Universal Music Group's shareholders and, most significantly, to the man at the top. But here's the part that never makes the press releases. Here's the part they don't put in the year-end memo. What happens to the artists who try to fight back? There's something else people don't talk about when they talk about Lucian Grange, something that makes this story more than just a corporate power narrative. He's building a dynasty. And to understand that, you have to understand what happened to him personally before he ever reached the top of the mountain. Because it's the kind of story that puts everything else in perspective. In 1993, Lucian Grange's wife, Samantha, went into the hospital to give birth to their son, Elliot. Something went wrong during labor. Samantha fell into a coma. She never came out of it. For 14 years, from 1993 to 2007, she remained in that coma while Lucian raised their son. built his career, climbed from managing director to chairman to CEO, and navigated grief that most people couldn't conceive of managing for a single day, let alone a decade and a half. Samantha passed away in 2007, 4 years before Lucian took the biggest job in music. You have to factor that in when you look at what he built, because the man who runs Universal Music Group with an iron hand, the man who outmaneuvered hedge funds and platform CEOs and governments and competitors, that man was simultaneously the father of a boy who grew up without his mother. That parallel story running underneath the corporate empire gives you a dimension to Grange that the press releases don't capture. In 2002, Lucian remarried. His second wife, Caroline, gave him 2 daughters, Alice and Betsy. He now lives with his family in a Pacific Palisades estate that he bought for $13 million in 2012, a property that by 2025 was valued at over $20 million, and a second home in La Quinta, a 6,025 square foot property he purchased for $6.3 million in 2019. The man who started as a runner is now living like the executive he became. But the dynasty story doesn't end with Lucian, because his son, Elliot, is not sitting on the sideline watching his father run the music industry. Elliot Grange founded 10K Projects, an independent record label that punches way above its weight. His roster has included Trippie Redd and Tekashi 6ix9ine. He operates in the disruptive, controversial end of the market, the end that generates the most attention, the most streams, the most controversy. He understands, the way his father understands, that culture doesn't wait for permission. You either get ahead of it or you chase it forever. And then in April 2023, Elliot Grange did something that cemented the family's place not just in the music industry's business history, but in its cultural history. He married Sophia Richie, the daughter of Lionel Richie, the man who gave the world Hello, All Night Long, Endless Love, and Say You, Say Me. The Motown and pop icon who spent 6 decades as one of the most beloved artists on the planet, the man whose music catalog is one of the crown jewels of American pop history. And where is Lionel Richie's music? Where do you think it's distributed? Through this marriage, the Grange family has woven itself into the fabric of one of the most iconic musical legacies in American history. The son of the man who controls the music industry married the daughter of one of its greatest artists. You genuinely cannot write a script this tight. In 2022, Elliot purchased a Brentwood mansion for $27 million. The next generation of the family is not just inheriting influence, they're building their own version of it. Elliot's label operates with the independence of an indie, but with the infrastructure advantages that come with being the son of the man who runs everything. That's not nepotism, that's strategy. That's how empires transfer power between generations. Go back and look at the history. Leonard Chess passed Chess Records to his son. Clive Davis groomed his successors at every label he touched. David Geffen built a network that influenced every major label in Hollywood. The music industry has always rewarded bloodlines and inner circles. The Grange family is just the latest, and arguably the most powerful, iteration of that tradition. The Bronfman family had their chapter with Warner. The Geffen name lives on in a label. The Chess brothers are in the textbooks. But the Grange dynasty is still in progress, still being written in real time. And right now, the pen is in Lucian's hand. Now, here's where the story gets much darker, because when you control 40% of recorded music, when every major streaming platform needs your catalog to survive, when artists need your distribution to reach the world, what happens to the people who step out of line? Let's be extremely clear here. None of what I'm about to tell you has been proven in a court of law. These are allegations, publicly stated accusations, and patterns that people inside and outside the industry have pointed to over the years. Draw your own conclusions. But the conversation is real. The receipts are public, and the pattern is worth examining. When Kanye West, one of the most commercially dominant artists of his generation, a man who sold over $140 million worth of music in the height of his career, started going against the machine, what happened? In late October 2022, Def Jam, a Universal subsidiary, ended their partnership with Good Music, Kanye's label, citing his public outbursts. But Kanye had been publicly clashing with the industry for years before that. He talked repeatedly about not owning his masters. He talked about how executives controlled the narrative around artists. He named Lucian Grange directly in his music. And then suddenly, Kanye West, the man who won more Grammy Awards than almost anyone alive, found himself without a label, without distribution, without the machine behind him. Now, his personal behavior in that period was also genuinely destructive and offensive in ways that can't be ignored. But the speed with which the industry turned its back was something that people noticed. When you go against the machine goes against you. Then there's Drake. For most of the 2000s, Drake was the most streamed artist on the planet. His deal with Universal, reportedly worth $400 million, was described in the industry as one of the most lucrative artist contracts ever signed. Kanye publicly called Grange Drake's rich baby daddy and said Drake's music had become so controlled by Universal that it had lost its authenticity. My daddy controlled the spins, my daddy got the DSPs, Kanye mocked, imitating Drake's supposed dependence on Grange's infrastructure. Then came the Kendrick Lamar beef. In 2024, Kendrick Lamar dropped Not Like Us, a devastating diss track aimed at Drake. And in November 2024, Drake filed a legal petition in Manhattan court alleging that Universal Music Group had deliberately sabotaged him. His legal team accused UMG of using bots to artificially inflate the popularity of Not Like Us, of licensing the song to Spotify at drastically reduced rates specifically to boost its algorithm performance, and of running what they described as a payola scheme designed to damage Drake's reputation. The filing also hinted at potential RICO Act violations, the federal organized crime statute usually reserved for mob prosecutions. Drake's team alleged that UMG had essentially weaponized the Kendrick Lamar feud against Drake, choosing sides internally and using their enormous infrastructure to tip the scales. Drake claimed he suffered economic harm from the feud and from what he described as Universal's deliberate manipulation. UMG denied everything. But here's what makes this so explosive. Kendrick Lamar is also signed to UMG through his TDE Imprints distribution deal with Interscope. So you have a situation where the world's largest music company had two of the biggest artists in hip-hop on its roster, and allegedly chose to throw its full weight behind one to destroy the other. Think about what that means for every other artist on that roster. Liam Payne, the One Direction member who never quite reached the heights his bandmates did as a solo artist, was reportedly dropped by Universal's Capitol Records just days before his tragic death in October 2024. Sources described him as being on the wrong path, a man at his most vulnerable without the label infrastructure he depended on. Frank Ocean famously described his relationship with Def Jam as a 7-year chess game to gain control of his own career. He eventually won that game, but at enormous cost to his momentum and creative output during some of his most important years. The artist Keisha, who had a massive breakout hit with Hideaway in 2014 and was immediately signed by Island Records, a Universal label, described her experience this way. Once I signed to a major label, everything slowed down. The major label was fear-based. It wasn't about growth and longevity. It was about how much are we profiting right now. 9 Inch Nails' Trent Reznor publicly called out Universal Music Group's pricing practices during an Australian tour, writing, "Shame on you, UMG. Year Zero is selling for $34.99 Australian dollars. No wonder people steal music." Artist after artist, decade after decade, the same story repeats. You sign with Universal, you become enormous, and then, somewhere in that relationship, you discover that the machine you needed to get here is also the machine that controls where you go next, and that when your interests diverge from their interests, theirs win. Now, you might say, well, any label has this dynamic. Any corporation prioritizes profit over the individual, and you'd be right. But when a single entity controls 40% of all recorded music and has direct relationships with every major streaming platform, here's where it gets really structural. Here's where you start to understand not just how Universal runs the music industry, but how they've embedded themselves so deeply into the new economy of music that they literally cannot be separated from it. Streaming killed the CD. From about 2003 to 2016, the music industry was in freefall. Revenue was collapsing. Labels were bleeding. Artists were confused. Napster had already destroyed the old model and nobody had figured out the new one. The industry was losing billions of dollars a year and the executives who ran it were terrified. Lucian Grange figured out the new model before almost anyone else in the business, while other executives were fighting streaming, trying to sue it into submission, trying to legislate against it, trying to hold on to a CD-era mentality long past its expiration date. Grange was making deals. He recognized that the platforms were going to win whether the labels cooperated or not, and he made a strategic choice that changed the entire landscape. Instead of fighting the future, he would position Universal at the center of it. He negotiated directly and simultaneously with Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Facebook, Tencent, and Amazon to ensure that Universal's catalog sat at the core of every major music platform on Earth. He structured those deals so that UMG's artists had algorithmic advantages, premium playlist placement, and royalty structures that no smaller label could ever negotiate from a weaker position. He made Universal so essential to the streaming ecosystem that the platforms had no real choice but to work with him on his terms. In 2017, he formalized this with a multi-year global licensing agreement with Spotify, the world's largest streaming platform. The exact terms have never been fully disclosed publicly. What we know is that Spotify's recommendation algorithms, their curated playlists, their Discover Weekly and Release Radar features that determine what hundreds of millions of people hear, those systems are built on relationships with catalog suppliers. And no supplier in the world has more catalog than Universal. Think about what that means concretely. When you open Spotify in the morning and it recommends music to you, that recommendation is not random or neutral. It is the product of algorithmic systems shaped by the business relationships between the platform and its most important partners. The labels with the deepest integration into those systems have a structural advantage that no amount of raw artistic talent can overcome without the same institutional backing. In 2023, Universal had 6 of the top 10 most streamed artists globally on Spotify. Taylor Swift at number 1, The Weeknd, Drake, Feed, Karol G, Lana Del Rey. Not coincidence, infrastructure. But Grange demonstrated just how total this control had become in January 2024, when Universal pulled its entire catalog from TikTok after the platform's licensing deal expired and negotiations stalled. The silence was immediate. Taylor Swift's music vanished. Billie Eilish went mute. Justin Bieber, BTS, The Weeknd, Bad Bunny, gone. Millions of videos went silent overnight. Noah Kahan, the artist whose TikTok virality on Stick Season had gotten him signed to Republic Records, appeared on his own profile to tell his fans he could no longer promote his music there. An artist whose career had been built partly by that very platform was now powerless because his label had made a business decision that superseded his personal relationship with it. TikTok, a platform with over 1 billion global users, one of the most powerful cultural forces in the world, was crippled for music discovery for the duration of that standoff. The eventual resolution came when TikTok agreed to terms that addressed royalty rates and AI content policies. UMG went back. The music came back. But the message had been sent loudly to every platform in the digital music ecosystem. You need Universal more than Universal needs you. Grange pushed this logic even further into the AI era, as artificial intelligence-generated music started flooding streaming platforms through 2024 and 2025, creating millions of fake songs engineered to siphon royalties from the pools that real human artists depend on. Universal took the hardest line in the industry. In his January 2026 memo to staff, Grange declared it in all capital letters: UMG will not stand by and watch irresponsible business models take hold. Models that devalue artists, fail to provide adequate compensation for their work, stifle their creativity, and ultimately diminish their ability to reach fans. But beyond the rhetoric, they backed it with contractual force. Universal negotiated provisions into their platform deals specifically preventing AI-generated content from being counted in the same royalty pools as UMG's signed artists, while independent musicians watched their per-stream payments shrink as AI noise diluted the pool. Universal's artists were protected by language that no independent could have ever negotiated from their position. This is what structural power actually looks like at the highest level. Not what you own in isolation, not who's on your roster, but how deeply the rules of the entire game have been written around your interests. Universal isn't just playing chess. Universal designed the board, set the pieces, and writes the rule book between games. And here's the uncomfortable truth at the center of it all. The same power that allows Universal to protect Taylor Swift from AI theft is the same power that can make Drake's streams mysteriously underperform when his legal team starts filing petitions with Grange's name in them. The same infrastructure that launched Noah Kahan's career is the same infrastructure that, the moment it stops working for you, can make you feel like you never existed. Power cuts in every direction. That's what makes it power. 2024 was supposed to be another year of dominance for Lucian Grange. Instead, he found himself named in not one but 2 explosive legal situations that put his name in front of people who'd never heard of him before. First came the Diddy lawsuits. Sean Combs' arrest and the avalanche of civil suits that followed it triggered a wave of allegations that swept through the entire music industry. One of those suits, filed by a man called Lil Rod, named Lucian Grange, Universal Music Group, and Motown Records as defendants, alleging that they had furthered, participated in, and helped conceal Diddy's alleged conduct. Grange's lawyers came out swinging. They called the allegations legally baseless, describing them as a knowingly false general business partnership allegation coupled with the fabrication of a non-existent duty. They filed motions to have all claims dismissed with prejudice. The legal machinery of Universal, which maintains an army of communications executives specifically to manage exactly this kind of situation, worked to contain the narrative before it spread. The judge's ruling is still pending at the time of this video, but the fact that Grange's name was in those filings at all, the CEO of the most powerful music company on earth, linked to the most explosive scandal in the industry's recent history, was something that could not be quietly managed away. Then came Drake. The petition Drake filed in Manhattan court in November 2024 was not technically a lawsuit. It was a pre-action petition, a legal mechanism under New York law designed to gather information before a civil claim is filed. But the allegations inside it were extraordinary. Drake's legal team pointed to violations of the RICO Act, a statute with roots in fighting organized crime. They alleged conspiracy. They alleged fraud. They alleged that the company Drake had entrusted with his career had turned that infrastructure against him. The petition named Grange personally as part of the alleged misconduct. UMG denied everything. Their response was characteristically airtight. They acknowledged nothing, admitted nothing, conceded nothing. The legal machinery hummed, but you have to sit with the image for a moment. The most commercially successful artist of the streaming era, a man who had called Lucian Grange's name in his music as a mark of status, was now putting that same name in a federal court filing. And somewhere in North London, the 65-year-old runner who became a knight barely blinked. Let me give you a quick education on the music industry food chain, because this is what ties everything together. When an artist signs with a major label, Universal, Sony, Warner, they are typically signing over a significant portion of their master recordings. Your masters are the original recorded versions of your songs. They are the asset. Whoever owns the masters collects royalties every time a song is streamed, played on the radio, licensed for a TV show or movie, or included in an advertisement. The master is the golden ticket. Most artists, when they're young and hungry and desperate for a deal, sign over their masters without fully understanding what they're giving away, and then they spend the rest of their careers watching someone else collect money on their life's work. Prince understood this. He famously changed his name to an unpronounceable symbol and appeared in public with the word slave written on his face to protest his deal with Warner Brothers. He spent years fighting to own his music. If you don't own your masters, Prince said repeatedly, your master owns you. Taylor Swift, who is now a UMG artist through Republic Records, had her master recordings from her first 6 albums owned by her original label, Big Machine, which was run by Scooter Braun. When Braun sold the masters to a private equity firm without giving Swift the opportunity to buy them, she declared the situation her worst-case scenario and began re-recording every single one of her original albums from scratch, a multi-year effort specifically designed to devalue the masters Braun held and redirect fans to versions she owned. That effort succeeded in a way that nobody in the industry expected. Fans followed her. The original masters were worth significantly less once Taylor's versions existed. It was the most successful act of financial rebellion by a major artist in the modern era. But Taylor Swift is Taylor Swift. She has the fan base, the financial resources, and the cultural capital to execute a strategy like that. What about the artists who don't? What about the thousands of artists who signed deals in the 2000s and 2010s, handed over their masters, and now watch their music generate streaming revenue they never fully see? What happens to them when they speak up? The pattern that multiple sources, former label employees, industry journalists, music lawyers, have described over the years is what they call shelving. An artist who causes problems, who pushes back too hard on the label, who makes noise about their deal structure or goes to the press with complaints, that artist finds their releases delayed. Their promotional budget mysteriously shrinks. Radio stations that used to play their music stop booking them. Playlist curators stop featuring them. The algorithm stops surfacing their catalog. It's not always explicit. Nobody sends you a letter saying you're blackballed. It's quieter than that. The machine just stops working for you. Industry lawyer and music business commentator Bobby Deal described the phenomenon this way in a 2023 interview. The label doesn't have to do anything active to destroy your career. They just have to stop doing anything. And when you're an artist who's built your success on the infrastructure of a major label, on their radio relationships, their playlist deals, their marketing budgets, the moment they stop, you feel like you're falling. The counter argument, and it's worth acknowledging, is that labels invest enormous resources in artists, and when those artists don't generate return on that investment, cutting the promotional budget is just business, not conspiracy, just capitalism. But when the same company controls the radio relationships, the streaming platform deals, the playlist algorithmic tools, and the artist's masters all at once, is that still just capitalism, or is it something else? By the time we get to 2025 and 2026, Lucian Grainge is approaching the twilight of his tenure as CEO. He'll be 66 in 2026. The question of succession, who runs Universal after Grainge, is one of the most closely watched conversations in the music industry. And that question is more complicated than it seems. Because as one industry publication put it, Universal Music Group is increasingly looking like just another asset class. The company that Grainge built on the backs of artists and A&R instinct is now a publicly traded company answerable to hedge funds and private equity. Bill Ackman's Pershing Square Capital Management owns a significant stake and has been flexing its muscles in boardroom decisions. Tencent, the Chinese tech giant, owns another 20%. Vivendi, the French media company, holds another major stake. These are not music people. These are financial engineers. And their interests are not necessarily aligned with what makes great music, or what's good for artists, or what builds cultural legacies. The Grainge era has been characterized by a particular vision. Music is the most important thing, and if you protect the music and invest in the artists, the money will follow. Whether you agree with his methods or not, whether you think his power is too concentrated or not, that vision produced results. Under Grainge, the music industry went from dying to thriving. Annual revenues that were collapsing in the early 2000s are now growing again for the first time in a generation. What comes after him, whoever runs Universal in the 2030s, may not share that vision. They may see it purely as a catalog business, a licensing machine, a financial instrument. And if that happens, what becomes of the culture? Meanwhile, Elliot Grainge is quietly building. 10K Projects is expanding. His marriage into the Ritchie family has deepened the dynasty's roots in American music history. The Grainge name, which meant nothing to most people a decade ago, is becoming synonymous with a kind of second-generation power that could outlast Lucian's tenure at the top. In his 2026 memo to staff, Lucian Grainge wrote about superfans, about AI, about streaming innovation, about emerging markets. He talked about UMG's investment in India's film and music industry, about protecting artists from AI slop, about the future of music as a global phenomenon. The language was forward-looking, ambitious, the language of a man who still believes he's at the beginning of something, not the end, but the industry is watching. The hedge funds are circling, Drake's lawyers are filing, the AI generators are churning, and somewhere, an 18-year-old kid who dropped out of school in 2025 with nothing but a pair of headphones and a dream is about to sign a contract with one of Universal's labels and hand over the rights to the music that will define their life. The machine doesn't stop. It never stops. Let's bring this all the way back to where we started. You asked who controls the music you hear. And the answer, if you've been watching, is more complex than a single name. It's a system. A web of Jewish entrepreneurs who saw opportunity in music when nobody else did, who built labels from nothing in the 1940s and 1950s, who bet on black music before it was commercially mainstream, who took hip-hop seriously before it was respectable, who built and merged and acquired until there was nowhere left to go except to the top. Lucian Grainge is the apex of that system, a man who started as a runner in 1978 and became a knight by 2016, a man whose company controls 40% of all recorded music on Earth, a man whose artists include Taylor Swift, Drake, Eminem, The Weeknd, Billie Eilish, Kendrick Lamar, Morgan Wallen, Lady Gaga, Post Malone, and literally hundreds of other names you know. A man who not only survived the digital revolution that killed the music industry, but used it to become more powerful than any music executive in history. The Bronfmans had Warner. Rick Rubin built Def Jam. Clive Davis discovered Whitney Houston. The Chess Brothers gave the world rock and roll. Each of them was a chapter. Lucian Grainge is the whole book. But here's the question you should be sitting with right now. The question that nobody in the industry wants to ask out loud because the answer makes people uncomfortable. What happens to the music when one company controls this much of it? What happens to the art when the commercial infrastructure gets this concentrated? When the algorithm is shaped by the same company that owns the music? When the artists who challenge the system, the Kanyes, the Drakes, the Frank Oceans, can be made to feel the weight of that system whenever they step out of line? Is that good for music? Is it good for culture? Is it good for the kid in Houston or Memphis or London who's making something in their bedroom right now that nobody has ever heard before? Something that doesn't fit any existing format